Hi, it's Elliot again from the Mind Body Project. Welcome back. Thanks for following, liking and subscribing. So today I'm going to continue on with dealing with negative emotions and decision making in those states. So I've explained why you need to make sure that you're in a positive state or a good state or a meditative state or a high performance state when you make decisions, especially if they're important ones. And you do not want to make any decisions whilst in a negative state because you don't have access to the rest of your brain. You have only access to a small part of your brain, which is extremely limited in responses, especially if you take action. So it's a no-no. So I just want to explain how you get into certain states. So if you look up Anthony Robbins, what he will do is he'll talk a lot about this. And it's a triad. It's a triad of emotions or triad of states. And when you get into a state, let's take depression because I've been writing a course and recording a course on it. So depression, the triad of depression would be physiology, focus, and language. All of these are patterns that you do. So if someone comes to me with depression, I'm near enough going to say, right, hey, get depressed for me. Because I want to see their physiology, I want to see what they're doing with their eyes, I want to see what they're doing with their breathing, I want to see what they're doing with their shoulders, I want to see how they're standing, I want to see what they're doing with their hands, I want to see what they're doing with their legs, I want to see what they're doing. Yeah, and I just want to see it. Because they're doing, to be depressed in that state, you have to be doing certain things. But the other things I'm going to be looking at as well, because depression is a mind-body issue, is that I'm going to be looking at, because depression is inflammation, it's systemic inflammation. It's an inflamed brain. So whatever you're doing, you're inflaming yourself. You're doing something internally. So I'm going to put out I need a nutritional diary. I need that done. I want to look at what you're eating because I'm going to analyze your diary. Yeah, which is more physiology. I want to know what you're doing physical activity wise. I want to know what you're drinking. I want to know if you're taking medication. Yeah, all of these things are these are all patterns of behavior that you're doing to get a certain result. The other thing is as well, then I want to look at is, okay, what are you thinking about? Where's your focus? Are you focusing on the past? If you've got specific images in your head that you're looking at constantly, is there an event that you're focusing on constantly in your head? Is there a picture here? What colours? Is it a colourful or black and white? Is it a big picture? Is it a small picture? Is it a bright picture? Is it a dull picture? Is it focused or defocused? Looking at all of that to see what you're focusing on as well. These are patterns as well. And you're doing these essentially at the same time. So you've got focus patterns, then language patterns. So internal dialogue. What are you doing? What's the tonality sound like? What's the tonality? Yeah, tonality is much more impactful than the actual words themselves. So tonality, what's the pitch? Which side is it on? Is the sound coming from this side? Is it this ear? Is it from behind you? Does it feel like someone's talking behind your back? Yeah, does it feel like that? So those are the details I'm going to take because I want to see what patterns that you're actually doing. And then what I would do essentially as a NLP master practitioner is I'll actually break all of those patterns. So I'll break them all so you can't get the depression back that way. That's what I'll do. But all of those things, I would take information. I'd need the information so I'd know essentially how you are getting depressed. Yeah, so it's just a lot of information. How are you doing it? Yeah, how are you specifically doing it? I want to see it because then I want to smash it up to bits so you can't get it back. But that's essentially what you want to be dealing with. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to tell you now the activities that you want to be doing to get out of these negative states that you may get into. And by the way, these are learned behaviors. So what happens is something happens and then you get into a negative state, and then what happens is you do something with your body, you do something with your focus, you focus on pictures, focus on events that are bad or whatever, and your language, you're saying stuff to yourself. It may be really, if it's anxiety, I know usually it's really loud and really fast in your head, and it's probably coming from a different direction. There may be loads of voices coming at you. from all around you, and it's causing you panic. So I know that from working with people with anxiety. So, but I want to do that. I want to make sure that I have that. And these are learned. These are learned behaviors, and this is how your brain codes information. But sometimes your brain codes information in a way that you don't want it to, and it becomes automated. And that's where people say they think they have no control, but you do, but you just don't know what to specifically do. And that's why I do what I do. But that's how you get essentially your state. Yep. So now you know how you get your state, then now we can do something about it. Because remember, this negative emotions equal bad decision making. So we want to break these patterns so that we can then train ourselves into a positive or good emotions. So emotions or high performance state or meditative state. So we make our decisions in that state rather than we do in a negative state, which the majority of you do. And that's why many of you are not reaching your dreams, not doing the best that you could do, because you can do better.